Okay, so you've decided you want to paint. So where do you start? What do you do? It's a rather a broad question to answer, but briefly, when I started out, we didn't even have TV, so never mind Google. Today you can find a lot of stuff on Google. I mean, yeah, I'm sitting talking now about exactly that, but I'm going to start discussing the different types of materials and media that are out there. You can start anywhere. Pencil drawings, charcoal, pastel, gouache, and then the three bigs are watercolor, oils, and now with recent technology, acrylic. And I'm sure there's a lot of other media out there that even I am not familiar with, so I'm not going to go into detail about that. But I use acrylic, and the reason is that it dries very quickly, number one. Number two, it is very easy to clean. It's water soluble, non-toxic, safe for the environment, and you can create a painting very quickly. Within a day or so you can create something with acrylic. If you want something that doesn't dry so quickly, you want to work and blend stuff, oil paints is the other alternative. However, these are rather more costly. They involve toxic chemicals like turpentine, thinners, and so on, and they are difficult to clean your brushes. However, they do produce fantastic paintings. The grandmasters can attest to that. So nothing wrong with oils, as long as you don't mind getting messy and finding a way, obviously, to get rid of your old thinners without throwing it down the drain, because we don't want to destroy the planet any more than we are already. And then the other one is watercolor, which is a great one to start with. However, it's very tricky to control. If you accidentally paint over a patch of paper that is supposed to be white, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't get it back. You can't change it. Whereas with oils, you can paint over it very easily. Acrylics, you can paint over it very easily. In fact, both of them lend themselves to layering very well. And painting, what that means, painting one layer over the other. You can also get extenders, which is a liquid, which I'll discuss later, that you add to your acrylic, which makes the drying time longer if you want to work on a piece that you want to blend colors together smoothly, and you can't do that if the first color is already dry. So there are extender options for acrylic, which makes it more like oil paints. And acrylic is tough, hard wearing. Watercolor requires glass over it when framed. Oils can deteriorate over time. Acrylic is like glue. It will stick to just about anything except maybe some smooth plastic and glass. But you can paint on just about anything with acrylic paint, and it will sit there for the rest of your life and probably many other years to come after that. It doesn't fade, and you can actually wipe it down with a damp cloth and some detergent when it gets dirty. You don't need glass over it, and believe me, when it's on there, it's on there. The only way to get rid of it is to paint over it with a white PVA acrylic paint, and then you can obviously reuse the board you had before. This you can't do with the other two media that I discussed earlier. They do not lend themselves. Oils you can paint over the canvas, yes, but you're going to have all sorts of unevenness if you have used the paint liberally to start with and you've got raised areas. Acrylic doesn't do that so much unless you use a palette knife, which I'll discuss later. So those are the three choices that I would go for. Or you can start simply drawing with pencil, charcoal or pastels until you feel comfortable enough to tackle a canvas. Obviously watercolor requires paper, and not just any paper. You need at least 300 to 600 gram hot pressed paper with a bit of it shouldn't be glassy smooth, so slightly roughish paper. That can be a little bit expensive, but canvas then on the other hand is also expensive. So that's it for today. Those are the three that I would suggest, and the one to start with would be acrylic, as it is very forgiving, dries quickly, easier to work with, and you can paint out your mistakes and redo it as many times as you like. And that's really the primary reason why I've chosen to use it. I've tried the other two and I've found them either very expensive or very tricky to work with. Well, I hope that information helped you to decide on where you want to go and what you want to do, and hopefully it's made things a little bit clearer. If you've got any questions, you can get me in the links below. I'll try and answer them as best as I can. So thanks for now, and we'll see you in the next one.